So today we're going to be talking all about Copenhagen once again. Not only are we going to be going over all the changes that have happened in the stickers recently, kind of some of the trends and things that I'm looking at both right now and in the future. We'll be taking a look at the capsules to see which ones are kind of looking the most juicy, performing the best so far, all of that. Obviously, the sale still hasn't started, so we're going to be waiting on that. But the sale should be starting relatively soon, hopefully within the next couple of weeks. But then also taking a look at what has so far and may continue to be going forward in the future the number one Copenhagen investment that was not on a lot of people's radars during the Copenhagen Major or anything like that, but now all of a sudden it's kind of burst onto the scene and has a lot of people talking, has a lot of people turning their heads, and like I said, could end up being the most profitable thing out of this whole Copenhagen kind of set, which is really crazy, so we'll definitely be going over that. Of course, first, just want to mention real quick, if you are looking to turn any of your CS2 items or your entire inventory or whatever into cold hard cash or crypto or any other payment method that you're looking for, definitely hit me up over on Twitter. Slowly starting to get back into the cash trading swing. Was in like a really nice routine before, but then obviously with all the peer-to-peer trading craziness, kind of hit some stops in the road along the way. I have been buying a little bit over the past couple weeks, but not as much. I know there's a ton of people who are getting mad saying, oh, he's not responding to this message or blah, 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 whatever. We didn't even have peer-to-peer trading sites for a little bit, but now that things seem to be slowly getting back to normal, I am going to start ramping up again. So again, if you are looking to sell, hit me up. We can probably get a deal done and we can get you some money for whatever need or use or whatever you are looking for. With that being said, let's get right into this. So starting off by just looking at the Copenhagen stickers, looking at what has been going on. We still have these two stickers under $1. Now, again, these prices are still not attractive enough for me yet. 76 cents is obviously getting pretty cheap, but things can still go lower, especially for a non-unique sticker in Mongols that, also doesn't look that good. It is another kind of big problem there. So Mongols seems very, very uninteresting and unappealing to me, but Amcol as the second cheapest sticker in this kind of set. Looks like Mongols is starting to pull away as kind of the least desirable, least attractive sticker in the set. I think that makes sense. I think Amcol should be more valuable than Mongols and maybe even a couple others on this list, but whatever. Amcol sitting there at 86 cents. Again, still not a price I'm necessarily going to be picking it up at, but you do have to keep in mind once that sale starts, hopefully, like I said, in a couple of weeks, I'm expecting the last week of April, which we're in right now, maybe the first week of May. So I would give it, at least till like May 6th, 5th, 6th, 7th before we start panicking too much. And I wouldn't panic. I'm just saying that's, I think, kind of like the normal or expected timeline or whatever. Obviously, once that sale starts, people are going to be buying more capsules. People are going to be opening more capsules, and that should increase quantities and supplies and should continue to drop these prices. Again, that's just in theory. We don't know what's actually going to happen, but these prices should continue to get lower and lower and lower. And these things, to me, will maybe start to get a little bit attractive at like 50 cents, 40 cents, 30 cents. Now, maybe we're never going to see those numbers, but that is when I would consider them. If we go back to something like Antwerp, which, again, we have heard like that GM of Complexity saying that it looks like, at least so far, sale numbers are looking closer to the previous norm set before Paris, stuff like Antwerp. And you can see in Antwerp, at the end of the Antwerp sale, the cheapest stickers were 22 cents and 25 cents. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stickers below $1, and there was 7 stickers below or right around 40 cents. So that just kind of gives you an idea of what stickers used to look like before the craziness and the kind of oddity that was Paris. Stickers can get down to 20, 30, 40 cents. Now, maybe they still won't. Maybe they still can't in this modern times because there's more investing. There's going to be higher supplies, all that stuff. I don't know. But again, higher supplies should really mean even lower prices than before. But yes, if Amcol did get down to 40 cents or below, I think it could start to be a little bit more attractive. But we'll have to wait and see if we ever kind of get to those price points. Again, all these other stickers just seem too expensive for me to really be too attracted to. It's funny to me, Ents here being the 5th sticker. I think the Ents logo and as a sticker is so ugly. Pretty surprising to me. We have Legacy as the next cheapest kind of unique borderless sticker in Copenhagen. I think Legacy and Ecstatic could both be pretty interesting, but again, not at this $2 price point. Again, if we look back to Antwerp, $2, I mean, that was getting close to like the top 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That was getting close to the top 10 stickers. And right now in Copenhagen, we're looking at the first 10. This is the bottom 10 results. So again, for something like Ecstatic, I would want this to be closer to $1 or less. I would want Legacy to be closer to $1 or less, not in that $2 range. But again, if a month, 2 months from now, whatever. We'll have to wait and see where those prices go to see if these things can get a little bit more attractive. But those are the ones that I'm kind of keeping an eye on. On the second page here, Steam Market usually doesn't really even load. I think the Imperial sticker still looks really good, but again, $247, not necessarily. Team Spirit is very cool to me. Virtus Pro, one of my favorite stickers from this whole set, but again, not necessarily at $4. Saw, another unique borderless sticker. It can be used as like the letter A in a lot of crafts, so that's pretty cool. That's one to keep an eye on, but we'll have to wait and see where prices go. We really don't know what the supplies, quantities, or prices of Copenhagen are going to be just yet, so you can't really be making too many big decisions as a whole on this whole thing. But tracking the prices and looking at what's kind of winning out is interesting to me. Navi sitting there at $7.39 seems to be a really, really popular one from the set. Furia, one of people's favorites, at $11. So interesting to me is that when this set first came out, so many people were saying Lin Vision was the go-to and one of the best stickers in the set. But the holo and it being yellow and this weird kind of color, people don't really seem attracted to that. There's so many of stickers in this set with that yellow, ugly kind of holo effect. And I think they could have done much better with the Lin Vision sticker, but it is a unique borderless sticker with a cool-looking logo. But man, our Cloud9 and Koi pulling so far away from it. $6 more expensive for both Cloud9 and Koi. Again, it seems like people like that blue much more than they like the yellow. The blue stands out a lot more and is a lot more unique in the set than that yellow that we see on a ton of different holos. But yeah, like this is not even a top 3 anymore. This is a top 2 of Copenhagen. Lin Vision kind of getting smacked around by the top 2 right now. Cloud9 always does well in all sticker sets, and people really do seem to be loving this Koi sticker. It's been kind of the most attractive and most expensive for a while now, and it's holding strong at $18, which I do think is kind of interesting. Looking at the capsules, we have the Contenders capsule sitting at 75 cents. Again, this one has the Koi, it has Ecstatic, it has Amcall, it has Legacy, and has a Lin Vision, having 2 of the top 3 stickers in the same capsule. That's really, really good for it. Obviously, it's sitting at 75 cents right now. That's definitely the one I would be keeping an eye on, but you got to be careful because that's also the one that everyone is keeping an eye on. Everyone understands, or I think it's at least largely kind of said that this is the best capsule from this set. We have Legends. You can see the quantities a little bit lower, but the price a little bit lower as well. You have Mouse, Virtus Pro, G2. You have all kind of like the big name teams in this one, but again, no unique borderless sticker, so I'd be staying away from it. And then finally at the bottom, the most expensive capsule right now, 92 cents, is Challengers. It's got Saw as the unique one. It's got the Cloud9, which a lot of people like. Furia, a lot of people like too. It's got some other kind of decent ones like Apex in there. It's got Gamer Legion, which is pretty cool as well. So I don't know. We're kind of keeping an eye out on this. Again, if I had to buy one, I don't know if I'm going to be buying any capsules from Copenhagen, but if I did have to buy some, Contenders would probably be the way to go for me. Challengers probably second, and Legends is definitely the one that I'm staying away from the most. But finally, getting into what has been and what may continue to be going forward the best overall investment from the Copenhagen set. This is the Copenhagen 2024 Viewer Pass. This thing, if you do not know, has been going absolutely insane. Look at this graph. This Viewer Pass itself was obviously floating around the $10 price point, $10, $11, whatever. It had been pretty flat. And then randomly, not randomly, but we'll talk about why, on April 3rd, this thing decided to spike up in price, going from $11 to $23. Seemingly overnight, seemingly in a couple hours, and since then it has ran all the way up to $35.17 in the past 5 days. This thing has continued to go up. It's not slowing down quite yet, up to $35. And this is very, very interesting because if we look at some other viewer passes, stuff like Stockholm in the past year, this thing's up 19%. This has actually been a decent investment. Yeah, 19% in the CS community might not be all that great, but again, comparing that to like traditional investing or whatever, you'd love to have 19% gains in a year. This thing has done very well. You also have the Antwerp viewer pass, which again over the past year, 17%. Again, that's still a very, very good year. And if you look at the all-time graphs for these things, they've done very, very well as well, going from 2022 to now. This is 2 years for the Antwerp pass, up 63%. And for Stockholm, if you look back to October 2021, so, closer to 2.5 years, almost 3 years, it's up 246%. They have been very, very good. And again, one reason for this is they were kind of underinvested. There weren't a ton of people buying up these viewer passes at that point, and so many new players have come in. And the only way to get this viewer pass, again, is by buying them up on the market, and they're just kind of low quantity, low supply, whatever. Also, you have the option to get like the viewer passes plus the souvenir tokens, which in CSGO, you could actually still redeem the souvenir souvenir tokens even after they were supposed to have expired or whatever. So you could get some souvenir packages and stuff for them, which also was kind of artificially increasing the prices, because as those souvenir package prices went up, obviously the souvenir tokens were going to go up as well. But I believe that has been fixed in CS2. I believe you cannot, I could be wrong, but from what I saw at the beginning of CS2 at least, you could not redeem those old souvenir tokens anymore. So then it just kind of became more focused on the viewer pass themselves. Maybe that's changed again. I don't really know. I haven't seen that as of late, but I did see that early on in CS2. But for Paris, this has not been the case so far. Again, the Paris Viewer Pass was same stuff, $10 right around there. Dropped down to $7, kind of spiked back up randomly. Don't even know why, and then it has gone back down. This has only been a negative investment so far. People were kind of buying this up a little bit, I do think, because they saw that Antwerp and Stockholm could be profitable, but just like most things in Paris, the Paris Viewer Pass was overinvested, huge quantities, huge supplies. It was on sale forever. So what is going on with Copenhagen? Why has Copenhagen bounced back? And again, one big reason why the Copenhagen Viewer Pass is doing so well is because, and this is something to keep in mind for the Copenhagen capsules and stickers as well, is because people got killed by the Paris Viewer Pass. The Copenhagen Viewer Pass has been underinvested. There is less of these out there. They are lower quantities, but obviously that doesn't tell the whole story. That doesn't explain this graph. This doesn't explain why the Copenhagen Viewer Pass is literally more expensive right now than both the Stockholm Viewer Pass and the Antwerp Viewer Pass. And the big thing here, we can see explained by Ra here. He says, he's been putting out a lot of these cool like little write-ups that I've been reading out. I think they're really cool. You should follow him on Twitter or whatever. He said, as for investments, let's start out with the one everyone has got their eyes on at the moment, Copenhagen. It's still too early to call anything meaningful regarding the capsules or stickers. We have no clue how many are going to be bought during the sale and how long, months the sale is going to last for. Very, obviously that's a huge part of it. Today I want to talk about something way more controversial, which is the Copenhagen Viewer Pass. This year, to everyone's surprise, the Viewer Pass got removed from the shop prematurely. So obviously, that's a big bombshell. That's why we saw that big spike in the graph. You had stuff like the Paris Viewer Pass just kind of being on sale forever. Obviously, people were able to buy up a ton of them, and that made the quantity so crazy. But also with Copenhagen, we didn't know that this was going to get removed. So even people who wanted to buy them or wanted to stock up on them or whatever, which I don't think was going to be very many people after the Paris stuff went so poorly, there's not a ton of them out there, and that's kind of caused this spike up. So as of now, you can no longer buy it. This means that literally no one in their right mind has stocked up on them as an investment, which is clearly illustrated by the price shooting up from around $10 to $30, staying stable there for the past 3 weeks. Again, this was not a spike up and then a crash back down. This has remained stable, at least for a little bit. We'll have to see. This is going to be very, very interesting to follow over the next couple of months, over the next year, whatever. The supply seems to be at an all-time low when it comes to viewer passes, and the price is starting off high at $30. Is currently already way more expensive than Berlin 2019, Antwerp, Rio, and Paris. They also have lower available supply than most of these. So that's what's pretty crazy. Even though this is the newest one and the player base is high and there's more people investing and all that stuff, you're still seeing a lower supply with this than any of those older ones as well. So this is really going to be interesting to see. Obviously, just in general, viewer passes don't have crazy demand. They don't have anything like that. But some people like having them for their collections and just for whatever reason, who even knows. But obviously, stuff like this, you have to keep in mind they're going to be not very liquid. It's going to be hard to sell multiple of them. And just like he says here, if you do buy a bunch of them and try to sell most of them later, you're probably going to end up crashing the market. It's probably going to be hard to sell them off. But he did decide to pick up a couple of them. He picked up 3. But obviously, when people were buying the Stockholm and Antwerp stuff, they were able to get them at those Valve prices or the Steam prices or whatever. And right now, to actually invest in these things, obviously you have to pay like $35 or whatever the third-party marketplace prices are going to be or whatever. So it's a little bit harder to get in, and we don't really know what the peak or potential for these are. Maybe they'll stay at $30 forever. Could they go to 50, 60, 90, 100? I don't know. It's possible, maybe. We also have to understand that these aren't an item that has a lot of use case once the major's over. So I do think it is pretty interesting. You know, anyone who did decide to buy them just for fun or as an investment or whatever has done quite well, but will they do well going forward in the future? I don't know. But still, even just going from $10 to $35, whatever, could end up being one of the best investments in Copenhagen because obviously there wasn't really anything 3.5xing from Paris. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. But that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Hopefully I catch you in the next one. Until then, peace.